But yeah, so these teachers knew that this kid was excited to be getting a puppy soon, and they use that to hurt him. They use that to say, we will take a video of you so that your mother won't let you have the puppy. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. We don't have a fun topic to discuss today, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll give a little bit of time for people to trickle in the meantime. So yeah, we're going to be talking about something that just happened, something really bad. Thank you for the FYP in chat. Something that happened, I live in the Midwest, so this is in my own backyard, where a teacher working for Nebraska City in the state of Nebraska participated, encouraged, and just horribly brutalized this poor autistic child that they were given charge of, a special ed teacher, in fact. So I have this article pulled up from Victoria Advocate. We're going to go through the whole thing together and talk about it. So yeah, if you have any questions, any comments on what we're talking about, dump it in the chat. I especially would like to center autistic voices, or just generally neurodivergent voices. So if that is you, I especially encourage you to speak up. But I want to hear from everybody. I talk about anarchy a lot on this channel. If you want to know why I'm an anarchist, if there is one thing that I could point to, there's a lot of things that I could point to, but if there was one thing that I could point to, that would be like the big thing that led to me being an anarchist, it was my experience in the public school system. So this is very personal to me. Hello, Alley Cat. It's very nice to see you. I'm so glad you're here. That's so awesome. I wish that the first time I was seeing you on here was a more fun time, but this is important stuff that we got to talk about. But like I said, since people are just joining, feel free to comment, feel free to ask questions. We'll have a conversation while we're going through this article. This is an article about a Nebraska City teacher that participated, just really brutally bullied this poor autistic child that they're caring for. So the title of the article is Nebraska City Teacher, 2 Aides, Charged with Child Abuse Over Treatment of Special Needs Child, which is really underselling what happened here. What happened here is extremely awful. Authorities say they soaked him with dirty mop water, pelted him with dodgeballs, made him endlessly mop bathroom floors, climb high school stairs, sit in soiled pants, and fall from his chair. This wasn't the stuff of fraternity members hazing this wasn't the stuff of fraternity members hazing a pledge, but a public school employees tormenting a special needs child, authorities allege. And there's a lot of evidence of this, so allegations, but like this has been corroborated. Am I sure this is real? I mean, allegations, but this has been highly corroborated. This is a real story that's being reported on by local news and other outlets. One Nebraska City high school teacher has been charged with felony child abuse. So there's been charges filed. That's how serious this is. Has been charged with felony child abuse. And 2 paraprofessionals have been charged with misdemeanor child abuse after allegations that audio and videotapes captured them bullying and belittling an autistic child last fall. So this is serious. This is real enough that the authorities are taking this video and audio evidence seriously and charging people, including one of them with a felony. It's a teacher in Nebraska City. If we get a name, I will be sharing it, but I don't think that they're going to. I don't know if they're going to share it in this article, or maybe they will. Melissa Valenta, a 50-year-old who taught for 28 years, faces a charge of felony child abuse, no injury. The paraprofessionals who were assigned to her class, Emily Kent, 40, and Deborah Stead, 56, have been charged with misdemeanor child abuse, no injury. So that was Melissa Valenta. That appears to be the ringleader here. And then Emily Kent and Deborah Stead have also been implicated in this. I imagine that there's more people implicated in this. So if you're a Nebraska City local, I'd love to hear from you. The mother of the child questions why a 4th woman, the wife of a school official, was not charged. I would like to know who that is. The mom also has filed a complaint against the teaching certificate of a physical education teacher who has also not been charged. If anybody knows who that physical education teacher is, that'd be useful information. Neither Nebraska City Superintendent Mark Fritsch nor Nebraska City High School Principal Brian Hoover returned phone calls from the Omaha World Herald. How interesting. I wonder why that might be. Valenta has resigned her post, though she has denied wrongdoing. Stidd, who also denies wrongdoing, is suspended pending the outcome of the misdemeanor case, according to her attorney. Kent's attorney did not return phone call seeking comment. This is going to get, oh my god, Steel Stitch, thank you so much for being here. And Alley Cat, you're being very nice. You can't get them to stop, but I appreciate that you're being on my side. But Steel Stitch, welcome. Mr. Ryuzaki, hello, I'm not a man, but hello to you. In case you're just joining us, what we're doing is we're going through this article about a Nebraska City teacher and her aides, basically many agents of the state actually, brutally bullying this poor autistic child who they were supposed to be taking care of and teaching and supporting. And so far, it's been rough. It's going to get rougher, so just heads up, guys. So far, we're talking about like what the complaints are and who the parties are involved, and we kind of got into some of the details. Once we get into the details, the further details, it gets a lot rougher. Valenta, who is the main teacher, the one who's being charged with felony charges, has resigned her post, though she has denied wrongdoing. Stidd, who also denies wrongdoing, is suspended pending the outcome of the misdemeanor case, according to her attorney. Kent's attorney did not return a phone call seeking comment. Valenta and paraprofessionals... Give me a second, I gotta close that window. Valenta and the that's a hard word. Paraprofessionals could be heard on audio tape and seen on videotape bullying, sometimes physically, other times emotionally, the then 16-year-old Tristan Igri, according to a Nebraska City police affidavit and audio tapes downloaded by Tristan's mother, Jennifer. So for those who are asking if this is real, the police are taking allegations of bullying against the teacher seriously. They never do that shit. So yeah, if the police are involved at this point, this is some real shit. And also the police are saying that the reason that we're doing this is because we have video and audio evidence of it. Jennifer Igri and her son, now 17, is autistic and profoundly disabled, suffering from fatty liver disease, a heart condition, and a genetic disorder that doctors say will limit his lifespan to his early 20s. He has a hard time communicating and has the intellect of a 5-year-old. I don't like the way that's worded at all. He suffers from seizures, and doctors have warned that strenuous physical activity could lead to a stroke or even a heart attack, his mother said. So keep that in mind. He is autistic, but he also has all of these other physical conditions that make it so that he must not engage in too much strenuous activity or it could kill him. His condition has resulted in Tristan being placed with about 9 other peers in the life skills program within Nebraska City High School's special education department, Jennifer Igri said. Such programs are designed to teach children basic skills that will help them at home and on the job, such as washing dishes, sweeping and mopping floors, cleaning rooms, etc. I really hate how a lot of special educators, a lot of community support people see autistic folks who are struggling and think the solution is to relegate them to like maintenance jobs and like being a janitor or something. There's nothing wrong with doing that stuff, but there is something wrong with saying that autistic people are only fit for that sort of work. And they try very, very hard to peg us into those sorts of jobs and just stick us in there and keep us there. So that's been my experience actually working with community mental health agencies, is that they will not believe me when I tell them what I'm able to do. They won't believe me when I tell them what I'm not able to do, and they just try to get me in. They just try to slot me into these positions that aren't really great options for me, but they just have a preconceived notion of what an autistic person is. There's one thing. It's not a spectrum, and you just have to slot in. You are a square peg, and they're going to shove you into that round hole whether you like it or not. That's just the way it's been in my experience, at least. Valenta had been Tristan's special education teacher since 6th grade, so this poor child was being terrorized by this woman for many years. Egri said she had a feeling something wasn't right at school, and that feeling was bolstered by comments that former paras, as the teacher's aides are called, made about Valenta, the longtime special education life skills teacher. Egri said one former para told her years ago that she was lucky that Tristan was one of Valenta's favorites because Valenta didn't treat other kids very well. Yeah, so this is also this is very consistent with my experience, where teachers are able to get away with bullying for years, and people will report them, their coworkers will report them, students will report them, everything like that, and they just get shuffled around, it gets covered up, whatever. I experienced horrific bullying from my teachers as a kid, and it was reported and nothing was ever done about it. And this was an extremely common thing. I mean, this happened to lots of other people that I grew up with too. And it's apparently alive and well and still happening in the special education department at Nebraska City Schools. Egri said the parents told her that Valenta belittled kids and some parents joined in, knowing that the kids wouldn't be able to advocate for themselves. That came to a head last fall. Yeah, that's one of the primary flaws of the public school system is the power imbalance between faculty and students. Students are treated horrendously. At least that was my experience. I'm sure there are some schools that are just delightful, but I haven't been to them. According to the affidavit of Nebraska City Police Officer Casey Fertig, in September, Egri said Tristan started making unusual comments about not wanting to go to school. Tristan told his mom that people at school were being mean. When asked who, Tristan replied, "All of my teachers." All of my teachers. Egri said she became further concerned because Tristan came home from school extremely exhausted. So she purchased a recording device and asked Tristan if he would put it in his pocket during the school. He agreed. Never too far to turn back to Jesus. Well, I don't have to turn back to Jesus because there's no turning back to. I turn to Jesus on a regular basis, pray every single day. I hope I have assuaged your concerns. Tristan had the recording device with him for 4 days this school year, September 13th, 23rd, 29th, and 30th. Some of the audio tapes were then confirmed by audio and videotape from the gym. Police's review of the audio and videotape showed various incidents, including, and this is where shit gets real nasty, so if you don't want to hear the details of some horrific bullying, you can duck out now. One of those September days, Valenta became upset that Tristan wasn't playing a game in gym class. She grabbed him by the arm, then put a hand on his chest and used her body to push Tristan backwards towards the bleachers. The rest occurred off camera, and audio captured Tristan saying, "Ow." "You know what? You're not going to act like a jackass every day. Do you understand me?" Valenta said. "Start walking right now. This is PE. If you're not going to play the game, then you're going to walk." The officer wrote that she could hear Valenta repeatedly saying "go" and Tristan repeatedly saying "ow." I wonder what was going on there. "Go," Valenta said. Move and I won't have to do that." So she was saying, "Go. If you move, I won't have to do that." That being the thing that we aren't able to see on the camera that's making him say "ow." So another incident, Valenta and special education PE teacher Chad Ferguson started teasing Tristan about a puppy he had long coveted, this is really sick, and had received on his 16th birthday. They said they could send a video to his mom so she would take his puppy back. Ferguson kept talking about the puppy and what he would do with it. "It's not yours, it's mine," Tristan said. "Please stop it." Valenta, Ferguson, Kent, Stead, and a third para, the wife of a school official, all were hazing him over the puppy, Egri said. Ferguson, who could not be reached for comment, reportedly has disputed that he was the voice in the video. So, yeah, I'm sorry, dear. This isn't a fun one. You don't, if you want to duck out, I understand. But yeah, so these teachers knew that this kid was excited to be getting a puppy soon, and they used that to hurt him. They use that to say, "We will take a video of you so that your mother won't let you have the puppy." These are some sick fucks. And this bitch was reported years ago. Remember, we read about this earlier, that the people that worked with her were reporting her and all that sort of thing. And this has continued to happen. This poor kid was stuck with this person since 6th grade. This person's been a special education teacher in this position for 6 years. Bullying is nature's way of educating the outliers of stupid and wrong behavior. That's interesting. So you think that this case of bullying where the teachers were bullying a child were good? Don't mute them, by the way. I want to hear their response. Darky Doyle 0. Please explain to me how any of this is natural or a good thing. I'll wait. No response. I don't think that we're going to be getting one, but we'll see. Valenta asked Ed to bring me a couple. This is a different incident. Valenta asked Ed to bring me a couple of dodgeballs. A ball could be heard hitting Tristan, and he said, "Ow." Egri and Ferguson could be heard saying, "Whoa, that was a bad throw." Ha ha ha. Tristan again got hit with a ball. "Ow," he could be heard saying. So now we have audio evidence of them physically harming this child. Yeah, still no response, right? Yeah, it's rough, I know. I'm sorry. Valenta tipped, this is a separate incident. Valenta tipped a chair that Tristan was sitting in, causing him to fall. While he was on the floor, Valenta stepped on his index finger, causing a bruise and a scrape to his finger. "Get up," Valenta said. "I'm sorry, I didn't see your finger there." That could have gone a long way, a lot worse. I'm glad that it just ended up being a scrape. It's so easy to damage fingers and break them and that sort of thing, and they could have just said it was an accident. If your kids are coming home from school with injuries from accidents, you should be asking them questions about that, and please believe them. I have a personal experience with that I don't want to get into. Vice Principal Matt Thompson then came into the class and asked Valenta how they got to that point. He wouldn't get up, so after so many times, this is what she told him, he wouldn't get up, so after so many times I tipped the back of the chair up, and most of the time he will stand up, unless he digs his heels in and throws himself on the floor. Hey, did we ever get a response from that one dude? No. No, still nothing. On a separate incident, on September 29th, Valenta made Tristan mop the bathroom for more than 30 minutes after another incident during gym class. Tristan said he was tired. "Okay, well, I don't care if you're tired. You gotta keep going." He then was made to stack cases of soda without rest. Kent allegedly wouldn't let him take a break. So they're making fun of them. They're making fun of this kid, threatening him with action to take his dog away, physically brutalizing him in multiple ways, throwing him on the floor, stepping on his fingers, throwing balls at him. And then now they're enslaving him. Way to go, Nebraska City. Hey, I understand, Steel Stitch. It's been great to have you here for while you were. Okay, we got more incidents to go through. Another day, Tristan, who like many autistic children has a propensity to wander away. Okay. I really wish they would consult people who know a bit about autism before writing these articles. Autistic people specifically. Anyway, so he was found by Valenta away from the classroom. As punishment, she made him climb flights of stairs repeatedly and locked him out of class. Tristan was pounding on the door while someone inside called out, "None of your classmates want you here." Separate incident. Yet another time, Egri said, Stid and another para could be heard getting their stories straight after Tristan was doused with mop water. They walked into the classroom and loudly proclaimed that he had sprayed the water on himself. On top of those times, Egri said Tristan has come home from school more than a dozen times with soiled pants. Tristan's condition can make him incontinent, she said, but he doesn't soil himself if teachers keep him on a regular schedule. So that's the end of the list of like really specific incidents. But there is more important information here. Egre said that her son has never thrown himself on the floor and would never pour dirty water on himself. Ferdig concluded her investigation, that goes without saying, obviously. Ferdig concluded her investigation by saying she thinks Melissa Valenta knowingly and intentionally caused Tristan, a minor child in her life skills classroom, to be placed in a situation that endangered his physical and mental health. Valenta's attorney, Bill Bianco of Omaha, said he wouldn't comment on specific allegations against Valenta. However, he said, Valenta maintains her innocence and spent nearly 3 decades teaching with no incidents. Except we know that's not true. Many, many incidents have been reported. She's a caring and patient teacher, Bianco said. She had no problem in the past with this child or any other child. The charge is not justified in this case. Stead's attorney, James Crampton of Omaha, said his client maintains her innocence. This is highly emotional to her, Crampton said. She is beside herself with worry and concern about all of this. Oh, poor baby. Egri, who works in higher education, said she and her husband, Andy, feel betrayed. Egri said she is reluctant to send her child back to school, at least until a third para, the wife of a school official, is removed. She has requested a protection order against that para, who has not been charged. So there are even more people who have been involved with all of this, and the police are refusing to charge and protect this child from them. She is calling on school officials to allow special education parents to visit their kids unannounced and to observe class. That's not allowed right now? What the fuck? Why are we locking the most vulnerable students in a room and not letting anybody see what's happening to them? Is that true? Are they just not allowed to do that? I don't know. I'm not a parent. I don't deal with the school system, so... But if that is true, that's horrendous. I would like to... If that is a policy, I want to know where that comes from. Is that a school policy? Is it like a state law? Is it just common? Is that just how it is everywhere? Wow. Egri said the behavior smacked of a sort of diabolical hazing. That's putting it mildly. And then just the rest is something that she said. She says, it's sick these kids can't advocate for themselves or fight back. They're the most vulnerable kids at school. It's a helpless feeling. I trusted all of these people to care for my child. But it's not about my feelings, she said. It's about his. He needs to be able to feel safe at school. Exactly. And, you know, I was an autistic child in public school. I wasn't in a special ed class. I definitely didn't feel safe at school. And a large part of that was because my teachers were bullying me. And so when the students were bullying me, who did I have to turn to? Well, no one, of course. I was surrounded by bullies. I was locked for almost 12 years in a system where I was subjected to lights that physically hurt me. I was forced to sit still, which is extraordinarily difficult for autistic children. It's literally impossible, more or less, in a lot of cases. Relentlessly bullied by my peers, relentlessly bullied by my teachers, ignored by the people that I reported it to. Instead of getting, like counseling and that sort of thing to help me with it, I was put on inappropriate medications for my age and my condition. Just all those sorts of things. So, school's real rough for us. And this sort of thing sounds like an extreme case. And I mean, I suppose it is. But this lady was able to get away with it for like 6 years. So others have been able to get away with it for a long time too. This is a common thing. This is the reality of what happens when the state is put in charge of trying to habilitate special needs children into the mold that they think that they should belong in. This is what happens. So if you ever wonder why I'm an anarchist, this is the primary issue that drove me over the edge, which is that public schools are awful and hurt children. And that's really all that I got to say. So I'm going to end it live here. I guess I'll look at a few comments. Vote blue, no. Vote red, no. Vote nothing. Yeah, fair enough, dude. I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote. That's up to you. But I understand the sentiment there. And yeah, thank you, Allie, for what you're saying. I'm not playing victim. I'm spreading word of abuse. Exactly. A lot of people had it a lot worse than I did. I'm far from the biggest victim of all this. But I am going to end the stream. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. It was a rough one. You're all beautiful.